Today's topic is activation of fatty acids. Fatty acids, when it gets activated, it forms fatty acyl CoA. That is the active form of the fatty acids. We can say many examples like palmitic acid, saturated and unsaturated fatty acids. In today's topic, we are going to discuss about how fatty acids are being activated. Once it gets activated, how these fatty acids are being transported to mitochondria and where it undergoes the further oxidation process. When you talk about the activation, fatty acid activation, so the activation of fatty acid takes place outside the mitochondria, that is cytosol. So fatty acid is getting activated, so that is converted to fatty acyl CoA or acyl CoA. So this process was catalyzed by the enzyme acyl CoA synthetase or thiokinase, which is a ATP dependent enzyme. That means it utilizes the ATP for this reaction. So for the activation of fatty acid, so one molecule of ATP is utilized so that fatty acid is being activated to fatty acyl CoA. So once the fatty acid is converted to fatty acyl CoA, so that takes place outside the mitochondria, which is not able to cross the mitochondrial membrane because these long chain fatty acids, they require some transporter. So if it is a short chain fatty acids, it can easily penetrate through the mitochondrial membrane, whereas the long chain fatty acids, it requires some carrier molecule. So one of the carrier molecule, we can say familiar example is carnitine. So carnitine is a carrier which is involved in transporting the long chain fatty acids. So it forms complex with these fatty acids. So that process, we call it as transportation of fatty acid. So in when you consider the transportation of fatty acids, so these long chain fatty acids, that is acyl CoA, make complex with carnitine so that it results with formation of acyl carnitine complex, which is catalyzed by carnitine acyl transferase 1, which is present in outer mitochondrial membrane. Once it forms the acyl carnitine, so this acyl carnitine gets transported from outer mitochondrial membrane to inner mitochondrial membrane. And then this acyl carnitine so is converted back to carnitine. It regenerates the carnitine in the inner membrane. At the same time, it leaves acyl CoA. And this step is particularly catalyzed by the enzyme carnitine acyl transferase 2. So we need to know the difference of these two enzyme actions are very, very important, especially in transporting the long chain fatty acids. So this is a cyclic process. So once the fatty acid is getting activated, that is once it is converted to acyl CoA. So this acyl CoA binds with carnitine and results with formation of acyl carnitine. Then this acyl carnitine is able to penetrate through the mitochondrial membrane so that it reaches the inner mitochondrial membrane, and then it is converted back to carnitine. It regenerates the carnitine and then acyl CoA. And this acyl CoA, which is now reaching the inner mitochondrial membrane, which undergoes the further process, whereas this carnitine, so the regenerated carnitine, which is present in the inner mitochondrial membrane, again, so it is reaching the outer mitochondrial membrane, so which is ready for to carry the next fatty acyl CoA molecule. So this is a cyclic process. So this in this process, there are two enzymes which are involved. So mainly in the formation of acyl carnitine, we have carnitine acyl transferase 1, whereas in the translocation process, so translocase or the group of enzymes which are mainly involved, again, in the regeneration of carnitine, so where carnitine acyl transferase 2 is mainly involved. So this is all about the activation of fatty acids. So probably the next class, we are going to discuss about the beta oxidation of fatty acids. Thank you.